Alright everybody, this is the starter machine, the school model student series. Happen to have it on page 4 that shows you all your accessories that are included with this machine. Buttonhole foot, zipper foot, the standard foot which is on the machine. Sewn on a button foot, quilting guide, seam rippers, dust brushes, a little thumb screwdriver, extra bobbins, needles, so forth, all come with them. It also shows you some optional feet that you can pick up through our website or one of our toll-free numbers anytime you need any of these extra feet. We'll go over them again in a little bit. What we'll do here first for you is we're going to actually thread these machines, and these are all numbered 1, 2, 3 little loop, 4 little loop on top and back towards your needle. Now I happen to be using the big spools of thread, but you're normally going to hook your threads up here, and in your accessory kit there's a little stopper that holds your thread on. You put this on and then your thread won't fall off that spool. Okay? But now we go to 1, 2, 3, little loop, 4, and head for the needle. You thread these from front to back. Okay? Before we go any further, let's raise it back up to the top, and this is your bobbin winders right here on this little silver knob. You come from your threads from this angle around this one time, back over your bobbin, and once you press this over, these machines are out of gear. The only thing that's going to be running is the sewing machine bobbin winder. And what I do, I just wrap the thread around here 2 or 3 times and then hold it out here like this, and this will start winding your bobbin for you. Okay? Now, we're going to thread it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Threading of the machine now. Now your bobbin, once you wind them here, don't forget to press this back over to the left side, so that kicks your machine so it's back in the gear sewing. If it's over here, it will not sew. Just remember that. Even if I don't have a bobbin on there, this will still not sew in that position. The shuttle fits down underneath with the bobbin. This is your bobbin case area, shuttle area that you need to clean out once in a while. Your bobbins fit in this little bobbin case. Drop it in, doesn't matter which way it goes. Pull the thread to that point, you're in. Now once I grab this little lever, that'll lock it so it don't fall out. Now I'm going to tip it back, and you can see the little cutout up in the top of that shuttle and this little prong on top. Now once I leave it go, that locks in. That's got to go right up there in that top. Okay? So now we're going to thread our needle. Now unless you bought some easy thread needles that we have now available, you still have to thread this needle. And it threads from front to back. And then you pick your threads up, just turn your machine over one time, and up she comes. Okay? So that's the main thing, is making sure you thread them right and run your shuttle right. Now, when you change your other feet, they just pop loose. Just a little bar here in the back releases them. So this shaft will stay on there for most of your sewing feet. Now what we'll do, I got some colored material here that we'll use. So we're good to go. Now, on this is your tension assembly. You want to leave this set between 4 and 5. If you leave it set there, if it's automatic tension, it'll readjust itself. This is my reverse button. This is my length of stitch, anywhere from 0 to 4. Of course, the closer you go to 0 means nothing. It'll be real tight, close together. 2.5 to 3 would be your normal sewing. This is your pattern selector. And we'll go over that again in a minute, but it shows you straight sewing, so that's what we have on the machine now. Okay? reverse. When I turn it on to zigzag, it does a zigzag stitch. If I turn my stitch length down that I showed you, down towards 0, that brings your stitches real close together. Now this next stitch, and you can see the little black dot, there was your zigzag I just had it on. This is called the elastic stitch, and you'll see the little black dots in between the zigzags. Actually what it's doing, it's running a zigzag and a straight stitch at the same time. And what it's for is extra stretchy materials. Because no matter how far I stretch that, I still got a straight stitch. It holds it and goes right back for you. So it's better, it takes the place of a regular stretch stitch. Sometimes your stretch stitch don't stretch far enough for the new materials. So if you watch this needlework, it's actually running a straight stitch as I'm sewing a zigzag. See it? 3 straight stitches each way. Now if I turn that to 0, it's used for mending. It's a good darning foot. It's actually reweaving your material. Nice little repair job. Okay. The next one on your machine, there's actually 2 of them. This one is your blind hemmer, and the one with the V's pointing to the left is a blind hem stitch. And I'll show you that in a second. Your serger is going to be the same as I'm going to show you on the next machine. It'd be the one with the V's that point to the right side. This one. It's actually the number 6 style on here. If you went from the first stitch, 1, 2, 3 is your zigzag, 4, 5, number 6 is your serger. We'll set this on 1, and I'm going to do that in a second, okay? And I'll put it on. The next one is some embroidery stitches, so it does do a little bit of that. So if you like to do little scallops and things, it's actually going to do some scallops for you. Now you can see that what the scallops do, the little scallops for decorative designs. Now your blind hem stitch, actually nothing shows through this side. All your sewing's on this back side. You make your fold just like you would any other time you was even doing it by hand. You just simply back this up, sew on this edge with either the 5th stitch or the 7th stitch are both blind hemmers. Now I use number 7 when I done this, and it sews on this edge and jumps over and catches just a little bite so that nothing hardly shows through on this side. It's called a blind hem stitch. Okay. Now with buttonholes, this is your buttonhole accessory, and it's got a picture of your buttonhole, and it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is the buttonhole foot that actually comes with the machines. And what you do is you measure up what size of button you want by these little red dots along this side. Take your foot off, snap that loose, set this back down. It's locked in. Your buttonhole's ready. Now when I'm doing a buttonhole with this, I've already measured what size I wanted by the little red dots on the side. I've already got this set on number 1. What we're going to do is sew down the one side. Once I get down to where I started, I'll turn this to number 2. It's doing the end. Number 3 goes back on the other side. Turn it to number 4. That does your next end. You're done. You also get your little seam ripper. It's got a point on it. You go into one side. Now be careful. These things are real sharp, and you can run it through past that you cut it. Some people put a straight pin across there to stop you from going any further. Here's your buttonholes finished. Now we're going to put it back on straight sewing. and we're good to go. Now what we'll do is we're going to move over to the teacher's model, if you've got that one now. This is the student model. Now, got to remember, every stitch that's on this one, on these 3 dials here, are the same that I'm going to be showing you on the teacher's model. Now, this one's the teacher's model, and this is the book for that, and too, it tells you in the book, this is the 5511 teacher series. You still get the standard equipment that comes with them. The only thing is, this is self-lubricating. You don't have to oil this one. Where on the student model, you get a little tube of oil. You have to oil that once in a while, and the book shows you how to do that. This one's got a few extra accessories, and usually the people that get these extra accessories don't buy the student model. They're advanced. They want the heavier machine to do quilling and things. But anyway, it shows you and tells you what they are, like a gathering foot, free motion foot, a walker foot for people doing quilling. It helps feed the material through evenly. Now, the difference on this one, your accessories on this one is inside the front little tray. Don't make a common mistake that a lot of people do. They call me back because this is an empty cavity and they think that they should have been in there, and they'll call you back. They're not there, they're in the front. Okay, so that's all your standard equipment. Same ones it was with the other machine, and you'll find that on page 10 in this book. Alright? Now, the shuttle system on this one, it's the same bobbin that the other ones took. The only difference is this one's located on the top. It's got a clear cover so you can see what you're doing and how much thread you still have on the bobbin. When I change this one, I don't have to take the bobbin case out, just drop the bobbin back in and pull it in a little slot back to the left, and you're good to go. Now the threading on the machine, it is actually the same thing as what we showed you there, except this one's got one more little stop. And the start, remember, 1's there and 2's here. On the other one, you remember, 1's right here. So you still wind your bobbins the same way. Once I press that over, they're out of gear. Don't forget to take that off when you're not using it. And you run your thread around the silver knob the same way. Okay, and you take your threads from here, or the big spools. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Have your take-up arm up to the top. Here's 5, and head for the needle. There's an eyelet there, and there's one right above the needle. So just slide that in like that. Now this one threads the same way, front to back. They keep making them holes smaller. Did you guys notice? Pick your thread up the same way you did the other one. One time over, it'll come up out of there for you. Now when you put your thread back, just put it back in the foot like you normally will. This has got a clear cover. It just goes on, press it down. To get it up, hit that black button. Alright? Now, over here, you have your pattern selector, which is located here, with all the same stitches was on the first machine, and you go from straight, zigzag, so forth. This is your length of stitch. This is your backup. So them 3's the same as on the first one. This one added 2 more dials, which is important, especially if you're a quilter. It's got a width control, which means every stitch on the machine here, I can change every width, 6 different widths. Where on the first one, the only thing that you can change the width on is a zigzag. Everything is pre-programmed. It's already one width. This is a needle position, and a lot of people will use that for quilting. It gives you a right, left, center foot, which is great for quilting. You get a 1/4 inch seam on either side of that zigzag foot, so you don't have to go anything special. So we're good to go. Now everything's the same, except this has got a commercial grade motor system in it, and this has got your full rotor bobbin. This is a faster bobbin than the oscillator bobbin that was on that side, so it's got a lot more power. So if you're going to be doing any real thick, heavy stuff like your blue jeans and things, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 8 layers of blue jeans. Real thick. Your old machine, as soon as they hit that, you'll probably break your needles or you have to force them. Now don't be afraid of the machine when you get on them, because you think it's going to bust a needle, but if you just keep running it, don't slow or don't stop here. You can, but don't stop there. It still come up the top. See, a lot of them's not used to that, so it's kind of scary when you're going to hit. See, when I put it on heavy, it just climbs right over the humps just like nothing. So it's a lot stronger machine. This one will do anywhere between 8 and 10 layers of that blue jeans. The first one will do 4 to 6. Alright, so the power's much more superior because it's got a bigger motor in it, a little faster. These will actually do 1100 stitches a minute. Everything's the same on the dial. Now what we're going to do here, if I go to straight stitch and zigzag, I won't show anything more than I just did. You just turn it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is now my serger stitch. It would be the one with the V's that points to the right side. That's this one. Okay? Now, the cutter system for the serger is included with this machine. So you're going to have one of these cutter systems, and it tells you it's a lock cutter. And what a serger is a locked machine. It's an overlock machine. So this is an overlock stitch. I'm going to set my stitch length down on 1. I'm going to put my width